At 7:42 on May 27, 1940, Captain Jack Churchill crouched behind a crumbling stone wall near the French village of Lepanet. The morning mist clung to the fields, muffling the distant sound of tanks and marching boots. 5 German soldiers advanced slowly, unaware that someone was waiting for them. Churchill was 33, 14 years out of Sandhurst, and had yet to record a single confirmed kill in combat. The Wehrmacht had already crushed Poland in 36 days. Now, their panzers tore through France at 40 miles a day, forcing the British Expeditionary Force into a desperate retreat toward Dunkirk. His company had lost 11 men in the past 72 hours. Roads were littered with abandoned rifles, burnt documents, and scattered equipment. Men ran for their lives, weighed down by fear and exhaustion. But Churchill did not run. He carried something no one else did, a 6-foot English longbow. It was not just any weapon. 70 pounds of draw weight, capable of hitting a target 200 yards away in the hands of an expert archer. Churchill was that expert. 11 months earlier, he had represented Great Britain at the World Archery Championships in Oslo, placing 26th out of 63 competitors. Enough skill to pierce a playing card at 50 yards, enough skill to kill a man before that man knew what hit him. The German patrol was 30 yards away now. The sergeant leading them was methodical, experienced, cautious. He scanned the terrain for rifles, machine guns, grenades, but never for a medieval weapon. Churchill drew the bowstring back, fingers finding the familiar anchor position he had drilled 1,000 times. The arrow flew. The sergeant dropped silently, the shaft buried deep in his chest. It was the first confirmed longbow kill in Europe since the 17th century, and the last of World War II. Churchill's superiors had no idea what to make of him. A graduate of Sandhurst, a veteran of Burma, an editor in Kenya, a film extra, a motorcyclist who once crashed into a water buffalo, Jack Churchill was eccentric, unpredictable, and fearless. He returned to the army in 1939, bringing with him not just a longbow, but a Scottish broadsword and a set of Highland bagpipes. While others relied on rifles and artillery, he wielded history itself as a weapon. The British retreat from Dunkirk claimed 338,000 soldiers, but Churchill returned with his bow, his sword, and his bagpipes, having covered his company's withdrawal. The War Office could not deny his effectiveness, no matter how unconventional. Within weeks, he volunteered for a new unit, the Commandos, a force designed to strike deep into Nazi-occupied Europe, trained in brutal raids that expected high casualties and demanded absolute courage. Churchill requested to bring his sword, his bow, and his bagpipes on operations. Permission was granted, though many questioned his sanity. The training was relentless, 30-mile marches through Scotland's mountains, freezing amphibious landings, silent kills with knives and garrots, live-fire exercises that demanded perfection. Churchill excelled in every test, proving that raw courage, skill, and psychological terror could outweigh sheer firepower. By December 1941, he led men onto a frozen Norwegian beach at dawn. Bagpipes screaming in the Arctic wind, broadsword raised, he became the embodiment of a living legend. The assault on Moy Island and the subsequent raid on South Vogsoy were swift, brutal, and decisive. Within 10 minutes, Churchill's Commandos had destroyed German guns, captured officers, and overrun positions that were supposed to be impregnable. The Germans were bewildered. No one had trained to fight a man who played bagpipes under gunfire and struck with a broadsword. His reputation grew. By 1943, he commanded No. 2 Commando, fighting through Sicily, Italy, and Yugoslavia. At Vitry-sur-Loire, he held critical positions against repeated German counterattacks. At Molina, he and a single corporal captured 42 German soldiers silently, sword in hand. His daring, unconventional methods became his hallmark, turning psychological warfare into an art form. Yet even Mad Jack could be captured. In May 1944, a German mortar salvo at BR left him the only survivor of his unit. He sat among the bodies of his men, bagpipes in hand, playing a mournful Scottish lament as the enemy approached. Knocked unconscious by a grenade, he awoke a prisoner, eventually sent to Sachsenhausen concentration camp. But Churchill's spirit remained unbroken. Within months, he escaped through a tunnel, traversing hundreds of kilometers across enemy territory to reach freedom. Churchill returned to action as the war approached its final stages. He moved across Italy, aiding Allied forces, supporting partisans in Yugoslavia, and preparing for a potential invasion of Japan. But the atomic bombs ended the war before he could face one final battlefield. Even then, he complained bitterly that modern weapons had robbed him of one more chance to fight. After the war, Churchill's restless energy refused to be tamed. He served in Palestine, rescuing hundreds from violent conflict, and later turned his talents to river surfing in England, radio-controlled model boats, and bagpipe performances at commemorations. Even in retirement, he maintained the same spirit of audacity and eccentricity that had defined his military career. Jack Churchill died on March 8, 1996, at the age of 89, leaving behind a legacy that no book, medal, or memorial could fully capture. A man who killed with bows, captured with swords, inspired with music, and survived against impossible odds. He proved that courage, ingenuity, and the refusal to accept the limits of the modern world could make one person as formidable as an army. This was not the story of the most decorated soldier, nor the most brilliant strategist. It was the story of one man, Mad Jack Churchill, who lived by his own code, whose audacity changed the lives of hundreds, and whose legend continues to inspire soldiers, adventurers, and dreamers across the world. If you were amazed by Jack Churchill's story, hit that like button. It helps share these forgotten heroes with the world. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more incredible stories of courage, eccentricity, and determination. Comment below where you're watching from, and tell us if you've heard of Mad Jack before today. You're helping keep history alive.